Matthew Mccalla, Mark Anderson. Swear the testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Yes.
I do.
Thank you. I've spent a lot of time contemplating this case because it's kind of interesting, and it's, I guess, somewhat surprising to me that both parties are represented by counsel and somehow haven't seemed to come up with a resolution to this case, which, like I said, I find somewhat surprising. So I think as I think about that, and as I've looked at the various pieces of evidence that have been submitted in the statements of the parties, I'm going to share some of my initial views on this. And I guess the first thing I would say is that, Mr. Anderson, from what I'm reading and seeing, you're the neighbor that people don't want to have. I'm really, I wouldn't want to have you as a neighbor. So, and let me just describe why I say that. I say that because, you know, if I lived in a somewhat rural area and I had young children and somebody decides that because they enjoy it as sport, they are firing their weapon all the time on a regular and frequent basis, and they haven't come around to my house and say, here's what I'm doing, I like to do this, and I promise you it will be safe. And in fact, here, let me invite all the neighbors to come in and see exactly where I shoot so that they know that their families are not in danger from a stray bullet, from a ricochet. I have no sense that that occurred here. I have one family that's expressed significant concern, fear, probably. And it just is really surprising to me that somebody would use something that is so potentially lethal without going around and advising the neighbors and being friendly and say, come on in here, let's look. And oh, by the way, I'm building a firing range in my barn so that I don't have to fire outside, so that I can really make sure it's all safe. And I'll let you all know when that's completed. You know, it strikes me as odd that somebody would do this. So that's the weapon stuff. And you have every right to fire on your property. You're in a zone that's not, you're in an area that's not zone no shooting. So you have the right to do it. But just because you have the right, it's just surprising to me that you weren't a more courteous neighbor to just go around and say, hey folks, you know, I understand that this might be frightening, but you know, you may have safety concerns, but come look and just show them. That might have changed everything. The lights and the sound. And what sticks out in my mind is one of the photos of your lights, which apparently are redirected towards your property. But it would, to me, looking at that photo at nighttime with those lights on, you'd have to have blackout shades to be able to get to sleep at night in the country. I mean, what kind of neighbor does that? Now you say you have security concerns. You're worried about people that have been breaking into the barn. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you're upset that the Mccallas have filed complaints about some of your actions. And frankly, at least 2 of their complaints have been sustained. So maybe you're mad that they're taking action against you, when frankly, in my opinion, that's exactly what they should be doing. If they observe something that occurs that's outside of what the law allows, they should report it to an agency and let the agency deal with it, which is exactly what they did. So it's just puzzling to me And, the timing of your various actions here seems somewhat curious, as if, I recognize in the affidavit, you're saying, no, I'm just doing this because I've had this ongoing security problem. But maybe not. Maybe you're doing it because you're mad at the Mccallas for filing appeals or filing complaints. But frankly, my personal opinion, not being out there, that's what they should do. If you're doing something that's in violation of the Shoreline Act, they should let the people know. And you shouldn't take out your frustration with them, alerting them on them. You should go and try to talk to the protection agency and say, hey, you're misinterpreting the statute or the regulation, or propose a rewrite. That's the way you deal with it, not by taking it out on the people who notify them. They have every right to do that. So that's why I say, I'm reading this and I'm thinking, you are not a good neighbor, even though you may have the right to do some of this stuff, even though the decibel levels on the music isn't over the county limit. I mean, music being played all the time. Oh my gosh, that would be so annoying. I mean, if people moved in next door to you, where you live, and just decided, okay, I'm worried about somebody breaking into my house, so I'm going to play my music all the time, so it sounds like somebody's there. You understand, I know you do. So I'm just left with this strong feeling that you haven't been a very neighborly neighbor. So that's part of the context. The other context here I want to give is on the other side. I'm not sure, Mr. Mccalla, that this is the correct process for you to address the concerns you have. I think there's an argument that Mr. Drury is probably going to make to me that this is not appropriate for an anti-harassment petition because to a large degree, Mr. Anderson's actions have to be interpreted by me as an attempt to harass and annoy. And he's going to make the case to me that no, he's innocently doing this because he has some history of break-ins that he's told us about in his affidavit, and he's trying to maintain the security of his property. And, he likes to fire his weapons, and there's no restriction in the county ordinance against him firing his weapons. There's nothing in the law that says he has to be a good neighbor. He doesn't have to come tell you that he's going to do this and that he's going to make you afraid to have your children outside or worried that they might be accidentally shot. So he's going to maintain that he has the right to do all the various things that he's done. He redirected the lights. They don't shine directly at your property, even though they make your property at nighttime seem like a sun has risen on the neighbor's property. But, he's going to argue he has the right to do that for security. Frankly, the better approach in my mind would be to file a nuisance action and perhaps seek an injunction and damages and those sorts of things. I'm not sure this is the type of case that's meant for a harassment action. So that's the context in which I'm looking at this. And since both parties have counsel, and I haven't seen any indication that counsel have attempted to negotiate something, I don't know how much. I don't know what has been presented as additional evidence since Friday. I suspect it's going to be probably more cumulative than it is anything else, because what I have is pretty thorough as far as the position of both parties. And, can I think of other ways of dealing with this? Oh, heck yeah. First of all, what I suggested to Mr. Anderson, invite the neighbors onto the property. Say, hey, all of you who live adjoining to my property, I like to fire my weapons. Come on over. I'll just show you, where it's going. I'll show you the mounds and the stumps and with the bullet holes in it where I'm shooting that don't put any of your property or your families at risk. And come on, look at my indoor range that I'm building. And I promise I won't shoot outdoors anymore once the range is complete, and it will be complete by Thanksgiving or whatever. You know, that's one thing I would do or could do. Am I worried about the security of whatever things I have in my barn? I don't think I would put up airport lights on my barn and destroy the tranquility of a neighborhood that's rural. I would maybe put motion detector lights up there if I'm worried about somebody so that they're not on 24/7, but they come on if there is some threat or a deer walks through or whatever, but at least they come on and they go off. What else would I do? I'd probably put a security camera up and have it be monitored so that if somebody shows up and they aren't deterred by the fact that some light flashes on, then security folks can alert law enforcement who can come out. And maybe they'll apprehend the person who's ripping off my barn. But I wouldn't have lights and music going on all the time, totally destroying the character of what is a rural area for people who live there. I would be much more neighborly about that. So I can think of lots of things that you could do as a way of resolving this matter without forcing Mr. Mccalla to sue you for a nuisance and hopefully, in his mind, get damages and get an injunction against all the different things you're doing. So I'm going to give Ms. Goldman and Mr. Drury a chance to tell me whether you want more time to maybe have conversations, understanding this is how I'm looking at this case. Ms. Goldman, you're the petitioner's attorney. Your thoughts on that, not on any other facts, just on whether you think there's actually an opportunity here to resolve this matter.
Yeah, good morning, Your Honor. Thank you. It's my understanding that the filings from Friday are now available on the docket, and those, Your Honor, are not cumulative. They actually provide the court with the emails and letters back and forth about this issue, these issues that have been going on for over a year and a half.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, no, I don't want you arguing your case. I want you to tell me, would you like to have some conversations with Mr. Drury in the attempt to try to resolve this matter? I'm not sure, even if you give me more evidence that the timing is so consistent with Mr. Anderson being mad that Mr. Mccalla filed the initial complaint, that there's no other way for me to assess it other than it was intentionally done. Even if I, understand that maybe that's what the emails are going to point to, even if I say to you, well, I'm not sure that still that brings it under the anti-harassment statute. I would hope that you would say, no, okay, I'll sit down with Mr. Drury and we'll see if we can hammer something out. But are you saying that or not saying that?
Well, my instructions for my client, Your Honor, are to proceed with this protection order hearing. We've been waiting for months at this point, and we'd like to put on our evidence. We'd like to make our argument. I appreciate the context the court has provided, but I would respectfully disagree with the court that this is not the proper mechanism or not a proper mechanism. And I think the evidence that will be presented and has been presented is abundant. At this point, Your Honor, there's no hope in my view, and that's what the records submitted show.
Mr. Drury, do you have the same position?
Well, I disagree with that assessment, but I'm always willing to speak with counsel.
But just tell me, is Mr. Anderson willing to make significant changes along the lines that I've suggested here? Because what he has out there is, I mean, if I were neighbors, I wouldn't give up on it, because that's just, yeah. I mean, it's like they live in a downtown block.
Yeah, I think he would be willing to make changes.
Yeah, I mean, significant along the lines that I've suggested.
Your Honor, may I have an opportunity to consult with my client briefly offline?
Yes, you may. And I'm going to ask Mr. Anderson and Mr. Drury to step back, and I'm going to call the other case, and then we'll get back to you all. And I understand Mr. Mccalla needs to be done before the end of the morning.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. Ms. Goldman, you and Mr. Mccalla spoke.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to do so. Given the comments that you made to the respondent, and with the hopes that they landed, my client is willing to see if a meaningful, real, and lasting change can be arrived at outside of court. And so we would propose to keep the temporary orders in place. And frankly, Your Honor, that I think is a condition of my client wishing to allow for this, and to continue the hearing till November 17th to see if a meaningful settlement can be procured from the respondent.
Thank you. Mr. Drury.
Yeah, we're happy to work with them.
All right, I appreciate, first of all, Mr. Mccalla and Mr. Anderson being willing to talk about this. And we just had another neighbor case, and that's a really hard situation. I know Mr. Anderson doesn't live on the property, but regardless, he owns the property, and it's, none of us want to be in a situation where we have this perpetual state of anxiety at the location where we live. That's just not a good human condition. So I will appeal to the good nature of both parties to understand that that's not how nobody wants to live that way. So I really hope you make a good effort here to try to make some peace and figure out how to both properly and responsibly enjoy your own properties. So I appreciate your attempts to do that. Just a thank you from me. All right, I'll reissue the matter for 17th of November work for you, Mr. Drury.
Sorry,
17th of November works as the date for you.
I actually left my cell phone in the car, but let's go with that. And
Let us
if I
know if
have
that's
issues, I'll definitely get a hold of counsel.
Okay. All right, in the meantime, the protections that I had previously ordered on behalf of the Mccallas still remain, and we'll set a new date for the 17th of November. And same courtroom, same time, same Zoom information for Ms. Goldman and Mr. Mccalla. And Mr. Mccalla, if you need to depart, that's fine. I'm signing the reissuance of the order. Ms. Goldman can assist you in getting a copy of that if you wish.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your
All
Honor.
right. We'll see the parties on the 17th of November. Okay, thank you.
Good day.
Woody Alger or Kevin Nielsen? Lawyers don't have to stand. I swear the testimony in this case to be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Maybe see it. It was unclear to me in reading the materials in this case. First of all, good morning, Mr. Hill, Mr. Baum.
Morning, Your Honor.
It was unclear to me whether I do see that law enforcement had been called. I don't know if there's any investigation for indecent exposure regarding Mr. Nielsen. Anybody aware of anything?
I don't believe it's been charged, but I believe it's under consideration for,
So you think it's at the prosecutor's office?
I believe so.
Okay, Mr. Baum.
I
do you
think
have-
that's probably fair.
Okay. Okay, so let me then ask this. Obviously, Mr. Nielsen has been put under oath as Mr. Alger. And if Mr. Nielsen's running the risk of a potential criminal charge, obviously anything he says today could be used against him in the prosecution of any case that may be filed. So are you expecting Mr. Nielsen to testify today or not to testify?
It would be brief because he already filed declaration with the court. And obviously, we're not going to get into the indecent exposure allegation. So I probably recommend that he take the fifth on that issue just to avoid any complications.
Right.
So I don't know if I'm thinking along with the court here or unnecessarily complicated things here, but obviously we would intend to ask him about the indecent exposure and a exercise of the Fifth Amendment, a civil case can be construed against them. I would contend that repeated incidents of indecent exposure constitute unlawful harassment. So.
Yeah, and I don't know that I mean, do you have statements of your party, your client that have indicated this is what's happened? So you can certainly make the case that way. Whether Mr. Nielsen denies it or accepts it doesn't really change what they're telling me, which is, yeah, we've seen it on the camera. But yeah, that the issue doesn't go away because Mr. Nielsen is going to testify about it. So I understand that. All right. So I could do mutual orders, and I don't normally do this, although I do it in the first case I had, but they didn't take that offer. I'll raise it with counsel. You know, I have somewhat the same argument back and forth, with the exception of the complaint by Mr. Alger that Mr. Nielsen has indecently exposed himself on the security footage that he has. That, you know, that's the one primary difference of the action between the parties, but they both seem to yell at each other a lot and complain about what's going on. So I can issue mutual orders, which will tell Mr. Nielsen keep his clothes on and have them, you know, just have no contact with each other.
You okay?
Yeah.
So if otherwise, we can have the full hearing. Mr. Hill, your thoughts?
Well, just because I've had clients run into situations where agreeing to a seemingly innocuous order results in them being stopped at the airport and so forth, I'm hesitant to go in that direction.
Okay, and Mr. Baum?
You know, whenever you've got neighbors that are kind of come to this level of animosity, I tend to think that a mutual order is more appropriate. Because in my experience, when you have a one-sided order in a situation like this, it's used more as a weapon than as a protective device.
Okay. The fact that the parties aren't agreeing to a mutual order doesn't mean we won't end up with a mutual order. So I just want to be clear about that. So if we want to go forward with the hearing, I have read what has been filed, and Mr. Hill, if you want to ask your client to put on the record the general basis of his requests.
Sure. You're Jody Albert. Can you tell me how long your conflict with Mr. Nielsen's been going on?
Just shy of 2 years.
And how did it start?
Well, it started with me and him. It started at 3 a.m. one morning. Actually started a couple weeks before that. He kept waking me up, and he was outside at 3 o'clock in the morning, banging on water in his garage and making noises and stuff, knowing full well that I'm sleeping right there in my travel trailer. Went out and confronted him about it. He didn't really say much. Next morning, he came to me and told me that he was going to do what he wanted on his property, and if I didn't like it, I better get used to it because it was going to get worse.
And did it get worse?
Oh yeah, it got worse.
And how did it get worse?
Oh, just the intimidating, the staring, the banging.
Well, give me examples of what that felt like in the moment. What's the intimidating? You're using that term, but what was he doing?
If we're outside and he's in his house, he'll come out as soon as he hears us and just stare at us. Or
From what distance?
probably 50 feet. Or he'll water his grass and laugh at us. It was calling us profanities and stuff, which, you know,
Did that stop?
profanities for the most part, yeah. But the watering and staring at us and banging on stuff all hours of the night,
All hours of the night means what?
just any given time at night.
Would do what?
You just bang on his shopper, his garbage cans, stand close to where my residence is, and blow his nose repeatedly, shine his lights. He's got these yard lights that he's spotlighting my windows.
any of these actions that you're describing seem to have any legitimate purpose? Was it explainable?
The lights, he says he's just trying to light up his garbage cans, but his garbage cans are not in my house. The banging, I don't know what's going through his head. He smokes. I don't know if I can bring that up or not, but he smokes a lot of pot. So the more he smokes, the worse he gets.
And has this been continuous over time, over the last couple of years?
And it even was it was this morning, 4:30 this morning. He's out there banging on his garbage cans, blowing his nose, hawking up loogies, stuff like that.
That you can hear from your house?
Yes, it's right there, right next to my house.
So since the since the anti-harassment case was filed, has he engaged in behavior still engaged in behavior that was annoying or disturbing to you?
Yes,
Um,
it's the same stuff.
What specifically since the order or since the case was
Well,
filed? has he
he's-
done?
Started walking in front of my house, videotaping my house at night, like 8 o'clock at night, for no reason. He's never walked in front of my house before. Just, he's building these blinds on his property, which he can do. You know, I don't have any problem. I don't care what he does on his property, but he hides behind them. Stares at us while we're out, you know, if we're out relieving the dogs. He's out there staring at us and till we move away.
So you've read what he's saying about you, that you and your family engage in intimidating actions against him.
What specific intimidating have we done?
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Have you done
That's what I
anything?
would like to know.
Have you gone out into your yard for the purpose of confronting him at any time?
No.
And so why do you have a camera up in your backyard?
Because we have altercated, you know, yelling at each other. And I just figured that he was gonna start getting physical. So I put cameras up on my trailer,
And where are the cameras pointed
at my trailer,
and for what purpose?
to keep him honest.
What does that mean?
I'm afraid he was gonna damage my property.
Had he threatened to damage your property specifically?
Not that I can recall.
Has he engaged in any use of his property that limits your enjoyment of the property, your property? Have you reviewed photographs or still photos or footage from the trail cameras you have up?
Yep.
And you've submitted some of those photographs, or it's hard to see. Are they discuss the indecent exposure? What is indecent? What has he done that would you regard as indecent exposure that you found disturbing?
Just the fact that he's exposing himself in a really rude manner. Flipping the camera off, coming back to the camera after he realized the camera was there. He came back 3 to 4 times exposing himself. Then fully nude. Then it's just the next morning, Scott was at the truck getting ready to go to work. He came down with no pants on, slapping his butt. Then he came back and exposed himself to Scott. And there's a video or audio of him asking Scott if he wants it.
If he wants what?
Whatever he was showing Scott. Exposure.
Okay.
It's all on audio and video.
And has there been any incidents of indecent exposure since the case was filed?
No.
Has he come out in any kind of state of partial undress since the?
Just recently he started coming out in his bathrobe, scratching himself, staring at us.
And you and your family been annoyed or disturbed by this?
Yes,
Has it caused some emotional distress for you?
yes. I'm actually losing sleep
Have
because I
you,
just don't know when he's gonna.
have you made it clear to him you want him to stop this behavior?
Yes,
And have you called law enforcement?
yes.
That's all I have for this witness.
Mr. Baum, do you have any questions for Mr. Alger?
I do. So Mr. Alger, you're indicating that you don't want my client to water the grass at the time he's watering the grass. And you find that,
No, you can water the grass.
So, but you're saying that you find that harassing towards you to water? at that
Blasting
time?
the metal building, yes, in the garbage cans, yes,
Okay,
at 3 o'clock in the morning.
so, and are they metal garbage cans?
No, they're plastic,
Okay, so it's plastic sound?
yes.
Okay. And you don't want him to be able to blow his nose in his backyard?
Out under my bedroom window,
Okay, now you live in a travel trailer, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and that travel trailer is right up on the property line of my client's property. Do you agree with that?
5 feet,
Okay.
5 feet off the
Have you
property.
thought about moving that travel trailer away from the property line so that you may not be as close to him using his property?
No.
Okay,
That trailer has been there. There was a trailer there before this one, and it's been there for a long time. There was never any issues before.
okay, so, and how long has it been there?
This one, probably a year and a half,
And what about before? You had one
a
before,
few years,
no problems before,
quite a few years. Yeah, not a problem.
okay. But now you guys, seems like you guys are upset with each other, you and, you're not?
I'm not doing anything to upset him.
Okay, well, you called the police several times.
Yeah, because he's harassing me.
Okay. And it looks like you're
Why
making
is he-
arguments related to throwing yard waste.
Yeah.
Police didn't take any
You
action
know
on
what? I don't care if he was throwing a yard waste over my fence. It's the snickering and laughing at it, and staring at us while he's doing it. It's like, say something, say something.
Okay, so you're upset about that.
Anybody would be.
Okay. And when, and you would agree that you guys have gotten into verbal arguments with my client, correct?
Yep.
Okay, yelling back and forth?
Yep.
Okay, swearing back and forth?
Yep.
Okay, and what kinds of things are you saying towards him?
Just cussing, yelling, calling names.
Okay, and he's doing it to you?
Yep.
Because you guys just aren't getting along.
Right.
Okay, now you, I think he got concerned about you potentially causing a fire for, you guys were cutting up some rubber?
Yep.
Okay, when was that?
That was in August.
Okay, and I think he made contact with the fire department about that. All right, and they
Fire
came out to
department.
talk to you guys, didn't they?
Nope, just drove by.
Okay. Did you ever engage with them to talk to them about what was going on? Okay, did that upset you?
We called the cops on him though.
You called on the cops
Day.
because, hold on, you called the cops because he called the fire department?
No, I don't remember why you called the cops on that police report. There's been multiple, so I'm,
Was that, what you guys filed the other day
that wasn't,
where,
oh, that was the 911 call. Because he was getting really verbal and aggressive
uh-huh,
about the fire.
uh-huh. What did you say in response to that when he was upset about, but the potential
My
fire?
brother
hazard?
talked to him, told him to mind his own business, shut
He
up,
sh-
it's all on video, and the police report states that we were in no danger
Okay,
to any property or anything.
so you called the police on him because he got upset about the potential,
Because I thought
what
he-
he thought was a potential fire issue.
No, because he was getting verbal and aggressive.
Okay, but your brother was getting
Telling us-
verbal and aggressive
no.
as well. Right?
Yeah.
What did your brother say?
You have to ask him.
Were you there?
Yep.
What did you hear?
I was calling the cops during that altercation.
Okay, so you didn't hear what was said?
I watched the video.
Okay. Well,
He
what
was,
did
he
your
was
brother say?
he was telling Kevin to stop arguing or stop yelling, stop mind his own business,
Mhm. Did he swear at him?
probably.
Okay, was he yelling at him?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
Okay.
he talks over you, so you have to yell so you can be heard.
okay. Now, let's talk about these game cameras. You've got, how many game cameras in the back here?
3.
Okay,
Three.
and you would agree one of them was facing directly at my client's house?
Yeah, and you saw it
I did,
was inoperative.
okay. Well, the batteries have been,
There was no card in it.
okay. Well, I didn't go over and examine it, but
Yes, you did. You looked right at it. You opened it right in front of your face.
I did not touch it.
No, you looked at it.
And then the other camera was over kind of kitty corner by the trailer by my client's garbage cans.
Yep.
Okay. Did you tell my client that you were going to put surveillance cameras up that would surveil his property?
Nope.
Okay, so he didn't know. that you were going to be capturing images of him? Because you didn't tell him, right? No further questions, Your Honor.
Mr. Hill, any further from Mr. Alger?
When counsel asks you to agree with his statement that two of you are not getting along, you said, yes, that's correct. Why are you not getting along?
Because he's the aggressor.
When he, in the photographs that you reviewed from the cameras, in which Mr. Nielsen is exposing his genitalia or appearing naked on camera, does he appear to be performing for the camera?
Yes.
In what way?
Just going like this and kind of embarrassing to show you, but just whipping his genitals out. And for the record, we did tell Leslie that we were putting cameras up.
Okay. Leslie is,
Right?
okay. And over what period of time have the gestures, the indecent gestures occurred on camera?
That was on the 3rd of or September 3rd. Yeah.
That was one of the things that prompted you to finally come to court.
Yeah, that was the last straw.
That's all the questions I have.
Any further based on that?
So the images, that's just from one day.
It was the night of the 3rd, and then the morning of those images.
That
were
one
the
night,
of the
though.
3rd, yeah.
That one night?
Yeah.
Okay. And you weren't out there personally to witness?
Yes. Or sorry. Yeah, we were sitting, I was sitting on the steps of my camper and Scott was standing,
For what time?
was probably around 8:30. This all went on probably till just after almost 11.
At night?
Yeah. He was, that corner of that property is right there and he was standing in the dark where there was no lights there at that time.
Did you make your presence known?
He knew we were there.
Did you make your presence
Yes.
known? What did you do? Did you talk to him?
Me and Scott were talking and we were both confronted him about standing in the dark.
So it was dark out? Okay.
We could see
No
his.
further questions.
Mr. Hill, do you have any further testimony?
Well, I'd like to call Mr. Nielsen.
No. Just right where you are.
Mr. Nielsen, you were waving your genitals at the camera. That was posted on
Okay.
Correct.
Yes. Well, okay. Mr. Baum is trying to protect Mr. Nielsen's.
Yeah, so I'm just going to assert his Fifth Amendment right to any questions related to the indecent exposure situation.
I'll limit the questioning.
So I'd,
I'm sorry, how are you approaching that? So
We're going to note that Mr. Nielsen is indicating his Fifth Amendment rights not to incriminate himself regarding the exposure incident. You can question him about other incidents. There's a standing Fifth Amendment objection.
and so may I just put it on the record then that his response to the question, has he on multiple occasions exposed himself to the camera with the intention of annoying my client, that his answer will be that he is going to refuse to answer on the grounds of the Fifth Amendment. If that's on the record and that's understood, then I'm okay with just ceasing the question on that subject.
it is what it is. So,
Noted. Go ahead, Mr. Hill.
That's all the questions.
Okay. All right. Mr. Baum, do you have any questions for your client?
I do. So, Mr. Nielsen, have you had issues with Mr. Alger and his behavior towards you?
Yes.
Can you describe what you've had?
very teaming up with brother, and they say I do hide in the dark, and I don't hide in the dark. I'm in the back doing stuff. If you look at my yard is very nice, and I try doing stuff. And anyways, I'm more afraid of them because they do pack their guns around on their sides. And it's very intimidating when you're packing a 45 around in your yard. And they're intimidating very much.
Well, let me ask you this. Mr. Alger is indicating that you're out watering your grass kind of early in the morning.
Yes.
Is there a reason that you would be getting up in the like early morning hours?
Yes, Your Honor. It was, I worked at a sawmill for 22 years, and my hours were from 4 o'clock in the morning until 2:30 in the afternoon. And so the times that I would get up and water would be that time of the mornings, because by the time I got home, my wife that is sitting behind me is handicapped. So I am taking on all of the burden and trying to get stuff done. And when I do make noises, I'm sorry, but hey, I got nostril problem. It's my property. I try to be respectful. You know what I mean? I'm not a butthole. I'm an easy guy to get along with, and they know that.
You guys used to be friends, is that correct?
Yes, very much. And I want to still be friends, but
And at what point did this start to deteriorate to where you were not friends anymore?
it was just seeing little petty stuff getting called, the cops getting called on me for walking down the road in front of their house on public property with a phone in my hand that doesn't even turn on for videoing, because I am not that kind of guy. I don't carry my phone on 24/7. They assume stuff, so this is what makes it go.
Are you, well, let's come back to kind of the watering the grass. Mr. Alger is indicating that you're out there banging garbage cans. Are you doing that on
Well,
purpose?
no, well, the thing is for one thing, the lights that I have out there, they're only temporary lights. They're on for maybe 2 hours, and they're not shining on his freaking trailer. I made sure the other night I hit it by accident, so I moved it. No big deal. I don't care. I have it for the reason for me to go back there, because they were complaining about my lights on theirs when they got to put, and for record on this, Mr. Alger did lie about the light. What was that he lied about? It was what was that, babe?
No, pay attention.
I know, I'm just trying to remember.
Well, let me focus you. Let me
okay.
ask you a question.
But
So are you in the back when you're out there watering it kind of in darkness hours,
yeah.
banging on the garbage cans on purpose?
No,
Are you doing that for the purpose of harassment?
no,
Are there times when you get into your garbage cans when you're back there?
yes. And I
Okay.
got garbage, I recycle everything
And Mr. Alger's trailer is right up on the property line?
from here to that wall.
Okay, so is it likely that he's going to hear if you get
Guarantee it.
into any of your property back there?
Yes,
Okay,
no matter what.
okay.
yes.
Now, do you intentionally blow your nose for the purpose of harassing Mr. Alger?
I go out and blow my nose all around the yard.
Okay.
No, no,
He complained that you were shining lights on his trailer. Do you shine lights on his trailer
Mm.
on purpose?
no,
Have you shined lights on his trailer?
no.
Is there potential that collaterally, if you have a light, that it might shine some light
Well,
temporarily?
yeah.
Let me ask the question.
Okay.
Temporarily
Mhm.
Onto his trailer.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Now, have you had run-ins with him recently? With Algiers?
Yeah, just
Okay, what
not-
happened recently?
I was in the back. In fact, I was placing my light on the corner on my property. And just like always, they come around the corner, both of them. Where there's one, there's two all the time. And they're intimidating. And they sat there and cussed me up and down, one side, down the other. And I just looked at them and they were like, what You just shining the light on. And I just left the light and I walked away. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want any argument. I'm done with it.
Was there a point where you put a white flag near the fence or on the fence?
Yes,
Why
yes.
did you do that?
I wanted peace, and that's what I asked him, was peace. And Scott picked a flag up and said, fuck you, threw it down and said, no peace. And I was like, okay, fine.
And that has been since our last court hearing?
Yes.
Okay. On the last court day, did you see one of the allegers videotaping you in the morning?
Mhm.
Explain that to the court.
They were just, they have their phones on them all the time. No matter where they go, they got their phones on them. And they videotape me no matter what.
And
What
where-
I'm doing, and I don't know when I'm doing it, because the camera that's on the corner behind my shop is actually shining on my property to his trailer. My property goes in the back, and then it's his camera's there, and it's shining diagonal to his trailer.
Now, the last court hearing we had, and I think you swore out a declaration on this issue related to one of the allegers videotaping you in the morning.
Mhm.
Where were you?
I was in the back.
Was it in the back or was it in the front by the driveway?
Maybe it was in the driveway. In the
Do you
driveway.
remember?
Vaguely, because there are so many times that they videotape me. I mean, every time I go around, it's like,
Do you feel that they're videotaping you for harassment purposes?
oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. Are you trying to mind your own business?
Trying to.
Okay. But have they made it clear that they're going to continue to videotape you?
Well, yeah, because they were already doing it when I'm walking by on public property on the street. They're videotaping me.
The yelling and swearing that they do towards you, do you feel that that's for the purpose of harassment?
Yeah,
Do you feel harassed?
yeah. Especially by two of them. And that just got me. And I'm not gonna stand up and do anything, physically, but I just want it over. That's all I want.
All right, no further questions. Ron.
Mr. Hill, any further questions?
So, did you decide you wanted peace and then start making gestures to the camera? Or was that?
That was it.
Objection. That I think relates to my standing objection on the Fifth Amendment.
Well,
At least the,
okay, how about asking reference to the date? Was it making the peace prior to September
Yeah,
3rd or
when-
after
When did
September?
you decide you wanted peace?
I wanted a long time ago. They know it. I mean, we fight and argue. It's like family. We've lived there forever, mom and dad, same thing, It's like, I'm not out there to have enemies. I'm not an enemy kind of guy.
But you want peace, but you're out there at 3 o'clock in the morning, watering the grass,
That's
being
my,
naked.
no, I'm not watering my grass naked. I'm watering my grass.
Your Honor, I'm going to object related to, I think what I'll call baiting him into talking about the Fifth Amendment issue.
I withdraw that part of the question. So you decide you wanted peace all along, but you didn't change the 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, yard maintenance, hose watering and so forth, knowing that Mr. Alger was sleeping, as you described it, about 10 feet from where you were engaged in this activity at 3 o'clock in the morning.
He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be in the travel trailer that close to the property. I don't know.
So you're
This
mad
is-
about that.
No, I'm not mad about that because it's always been there. Their trailer's been there. What I'm upset is, why can't I go out on my property at my time? Because that's the time I'm used to, just like anybody else. Let me finish. I get up 22 years. These guys have never worked in their life, except for when? Yeah.
Okay, no.
But we're getting far.
But, okay,
I'm sorry.
but anyways, it's one of them things. That's my hours. Sorry. I can't change them. I'm up, I go out and I start stuff. And I try to be quiet. If I slip, I'm not doing it on purpose, okay? Because
But
my
you are
wife,
doing it on purpose.
because my wife is freaking handicapped and she is the one I'm concerned about. She is handicapped. These guys are out there with their guns walking around. She is afraid of them too. this is what I'm sticking up for is my wife. dude.
How you're sticking up for it by going out and
No.
watering your lawn at 3 o'clock in the morning?
You know what? I like to have a nice lawn. You go look at my lawn, okay?
Let's just get clear. Can I
Okay, sure.
just, let me see if I understand you correctly.
Sure.
You believe that you are entitled to use your property in any way you see fit at any time of the day because it's your property. Neighbors
No.
be damned,
No,
correct?
no, nope, not even close.
No further questions.
Not even
All right,
close.
thank you. Any other testimony?
Just a follow-up on that. When you're out there watering your grass, your yard's decent size, is that correct?
Yeah,
And only a small part of it is next to Mr. Algier's trailer, is that correct?
Object to this. I realize rules of evidence are relaxed here, but counsel's testifying.
Well, actually, I'm leading because it was cross-examination, because he called my client as a witness.
Well,
Yeah, we don't have a jury. Go ahead, just ask the question. And
Thank
get your answer, please.
So is it fair that you'd say that your yard is actually pretty large?
yeah,
Yes or no?
yes,
Okay. And the section next to Mr. Algier's trailer is actually pretty small. Is that yes or no?
yes,
And is that next to, I think, a shed that you have?
yes,
Okay. And beside, kind of by that shed on the trailer side are garbage cans
yes,
and some other items that you own.
yes,
Okay. And is it fair to say that when you're out there watering, you're not spending most of the time by Mr. Algier's trailer?
no.
Okay. And that's only an infrequent instance.
Exactly.
Okay. But Mr. Algier is getting very upset, even if you come over there at any point. Is that fair?
That's right.
No further questions.
Right, so my ability to regulate peeing in the backyard or blowing a nose in the backyard, or what hours people access their properties, I'm thinking, how could I do that? That would be enforceable. It becomes quite problematic, of course, as council might imagine. Whatever the beef is here, it's spilled over into all kinds of ways that you are perceiving each other and antagonizing one another. And we have the issue of the alleged indecent exposure. We'll let the prosecutor's office decide whether there's something there. On the rest of it, I'm going to end up where we started. Commissioner Wall chose, after listening to Mr. Alger, not to enter a protection order. I'm not going to enter a protection order here. What I'm going to make clear, however, is Mr. Nielsen, you heard my prior conversations with Mr. Anderson about being a good neighbor. Your actions are clearly impacting Mr. Alger. That's why he's before the court. That's why he hired counsel. If I were you, I would try to be a good neighbor. Go to the other side of your property and do whatever you need to do. Respect that, during the morning hours, somebody's trying to sleep. And for both of you, you both have made very clear you don't want to speak to the other. So you should honor that. To the extent that one of you doesn't, after we've had this whole hearing and we've had this conversation, it would be clear to me that the purpose of contacting the other party over their strenuous objection, you both have made that very clear. The purpose of contacting the other party would be for the purpose of harassment. So to the extent that Mr. Alger says something to Mr. Nielsen after Mr. Nielsen says he harasses me all the time, then it would probably then enter into that mode. Likewise, Mr. Nielsen, if you were to say anything to Mr. Alger at this point in time, unless the two of you reach some mutual agreement that you can be friends again, which right now doesn't seem likely, but I'm not going to enter an order. I'm going to deny the request for the order. But I want to keep it very clear that you both have made clear to the other that you don't want contact. Give each a copy of the order. And once again, Mr. Nielsen, I just would strongly suggest that the actions that are causing consternation to Mr. Alger. You have some ability to control that, and you ought to engage in some other way of taking care of your nocturnal duties. Thank you, Mr. Baum, Mr. Hill.
Thank you, Your Honor.